Mr. Dedovic, first please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Aleksandar Dedovic. I was born in Nikšić in 1966. I am graduated in Serbo-Croatian language and literature, but after that I Master of Science in Civil Safety. My professional background was almost military, and I spent more than 19 years in military, starting from Army of Yugoslavia through the Army of Serbia, Montenegro, and after that I spent 9 years in different humanitarian and peacekeeping missions all over the world. Since 2006 I'm director of Alpha Center, NGO based in Nikšić.
And what's the Alpha Center? What's the main goals of this NGO?
The main goal of Alpha Center is researching civil-military relationship, fostering Montenegro membership to NATO as well to EU. Our vision is prosperous and safe and democratic Montenegro as a fulfilled member of European Union and NATO.
REACT is regional Atlantic camp is already famous among the students, experts, scientists. It was already held 6 REACT. What do you think about this camp? What role is very important for regional security?
In 2008 we have an idea about the concepts and special and original and unique concepts how to gather young people from the region. In 2008 it was just the idea to make a summer school for the young people from the region, but through the years there are a lot of different countries applied to be a part of REACT, and we almost decided to accept all of them. I think that's a very useful idea because all of them are almost same age, with the same education background, but with the same and unique wish to make this world much safe, much better place for their lives and lives of future generation. The topics such as defense, military, NATO integrations, diplomacy, anti-terrorism are very interesting for the people who are studying in. And this is a unique opportunity to meet some respective experts, professors, to talk with them, to discuss with them, especially during the formal sessions, as well as after the formal sessions during the sports and culture activities. Also, I am sure that this REACT, this camp and this event is specific because sports and the culture activities are a part of this camp, and they are making team capacity and team building, because the young people from this year, 25 different countries, starting to be one team with the same goals and with the same idea. Also, I mean that's a very good and rare opportunity to each other to present their countries, because the young people are growing up, the young people are studying, the young people will be one day decision makers in their countries. And I am sure that this knowledge, this experience from REACT will help them in decision-making process to improve the best ideas for their countries as well as for Montenegro.
What do you think about the participants who came from Azerbaijan?
Oh, we are so glad to have them at our REACT. Our communication started 2 years ago, and is also one of the ways how the countries so far from Montenegro and so far from Western Balkans can participate. The best and the main criteria is interest in the topics, and after that interest in the spread a message about the importance of the peace and communication. Of course, the participants from Azerbaijan give their effort, and always they be in the first line, especially keeping in mind how they are patriots and how they are presenting their culture, their politics, their sport, music to other participants. Of course, the Azerbaijan is very interesting country for the participants from the Western Balkans, because most of them have no chance and have no opportunity to come and visit Azerbaijan. And this is very good that I can say the participants from Azerbaijan are the best ambassadors of their country at REACT.
What's the main challenges of security in Balkan region?
In my opinion, the main security challenges are as well crime and corruption in all countries during Western Balkans. We still have in mind that Bosnia and Herzegovina is one neighbor to Montenegro from the west, The Kosovo and Serbia are at the east, and there are still some kind of frozen conflicts. We cannot say that we are living in the peaceful neighborhood. Yes, at the moment there are no open conflicts, there are no wars, there are no refugees, there are no bombs and guns, but we still have opinion that the region of Western Balkans need understanding and support from international community. Of course, all of these countries are dedicated to be EU members. Some of them are strongly dedicated to be NATO members, but the safe area need to be protected somehow. I'm sure that democracy in the country of Western Balkans are at this very low level, and we need the time. We need to change government often. Keep in mind that government in Montenegro didn't change more than 24 years. And we need to push civil society, we need to push ordinary citizens to be proactive in the politics, to start to be in the decision-making process about their future. The most important security issue, I repeat it once again, crime, corruption, nepotism, and politicization of the institutions. We have no, as Montenegro, have no question with any neighbors, any countries. We still recognize Kosovo a long time ago, and we are, as a state, heading through the EU and NATO integrations.
What's the main role of NATO to providing this security problems, solutions to this problem? What's the main role of NATO?
The main role of NATO is, at the first place, diplomacy. Diplomacy to talk, to understand, to accept, to see what is the best solution, but not in order to just find a solution. We have to talk, we have to find a solution around the table, keeping peace and stay in peace for any price. I mean, and Alpha Center stance is that NATO membership for Montenegro is a necessity, and we cannot miss that chance to be a part of 28 countries which are more than Montenegro, which are at the higher stage of democracy in Montenegro with the rule of law, and we have to learn from that countries, because Montenegro, with our own capacity, is not so strong to protect our democracy, our independence, and our people.
My next question is related with this problem. If Montenegro wants to be member of NATO, what do you think about that? Is Montenegro ready to be member, and what's the main problems in this way?
Obviously, Montenegro is strongly dedicated to be NATO member, and I mean that the government is somehow doing, especially Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, dealing in the area of transition and the reforms on the road to NATO. Of course, military is in first phase, and we did a lot of in that stage to transform military, to making less the number of soldiers, and to be a part in peacekeeping and peace support missions, especially in Afghanistan as well in Somalia, and now the Montenegro is engaged with a few policemen in Africa as well. The big problem or the big issue in Montenegro is low public support of NATO integration. Since Montenegro proclaimed to be a NATO member, the public support was very low, and what is interesting, the public support is going less during the years. From my point of view, NATO bombing in 1999 is one of the main reasons why people rejecting NATO membership, because 1999 it was an intervention from NATO to come on countries Serbia and Montenegro, and our people remember very good and very long that there were 12 victims died during NATO intervention, especially 3 of them under 15. This is the main reason. The second reason is that some of the people think that Montenegro will join NATO, we will lose our sovereignty and identity. And the third reason is that the NATO membership will destroy our ecology and our environment, and we will lose tourists, as Montenegro is, let's say, famous as a large number of tourists. The fourth reason is expectation of the huge number of the terrorist attack. I can say that all of these reasons are, let's say, already solved in the public debate in Montenegro during the past 7 years. I can understand, I'm accepting emotional reasons which are at the highlight all of this reason, emotional reason, because Montenegro is a specific country. Montenegro is only one country who applied to be a NATO member, while NATO bombs are going up all over its territory. We have in mind that in Alpha Center we are trying to raise awareness of the public in Montenegro how to accept NATO membership as a guarantee of stability, as a guarantee of peace, keeping in mind and staying, and do not ever forget what's going on here during 1989.
Do you have information about the percentage of people who support NATO membership?
Yeah, it depends. It depends who ordered and who paid for the research and survey. You know, if you from Azerbaijan will pay for that survey, you can make and order the results of the survey. I'm deeply respecting the survey we did in Alpha Center, and I clearly say that at the moment there is 40% of the public which was supporting NATO membership. But as you see, the majority is not supporting, and sometimes our people do not want to be at the opposite side of majority and clearly and loudly say their opinion. Every day dealing with the ordinary people and ordinary citizens, which profession is not so close, diplomacy, defense, we are receiving hundreds and hundreds messages of supports, of encourage us to stay, to continue, to be strong, to go forward, heading towards informing about NATO, because we still believe and we strongly believe that NATO is only one solution at the moment how to be protect, how to save identity, sovereignty, territory, citizens and democracy in our country.
Can you give the picture of military reforms in security and defense system of Montenegro?
Yeah, the first line you have to keep in mind that Montenegro not renew, not rebuild, not transform military. Montenegro in 2006, in September 2006, Montenegro established our first own Ministry of Defense and our army or Army of Montenegro. In September 2006, President said and President cut off the obligation about regular mobilization for the youth to go to army, and army started to be professional. In that time we had more than 18,000 people in uniforms, soldiers, civilians and officers. Now we have 2042 of them, which are in three main units in Montenegro, and the HQ or staff is in Podgorica as well. 35 soldiers right now in Afghanistan. It is almost 8th rotation that they are, and I see and I feel, and during my daily contacts with them, I see a big interest, I see a big wish to be a part of the ISAF mission in Afghanistan as a NATO partnership.
What's the main problem between society and military structures in Montenegro?
I cannot see there are no some serious problems. During the past decade, our military, our army forces passed through very, let's say, challenged period that it was not so popular to pass in uniform to the town. I see that Montenegro citizens are strongly supporting our military, and keep in mind that there is only one helper and only one who can help when it's needed. For example, during the winter disaster, during the flooding, during all people asking where is the army. Please call the army, because the army was, is and will be the main partner to the people, to the citizens in all occasions, good and bad, just in order to save and protect their lives and their freedom.
Is state military budget open for society in Montenegro?
Is it transparent? No, the budget is going down from year to year, and especially the budget from defense is going down, and I mean that 5.4% is less than last year, for this year 2013. Montenegro government is still fighting to obtain the budget, but the international crisis as well have influence on our national crisis, and it will be a great challenge how to obtain money in the time when thousands pensioners, when thousands workers are losing their jobs every day. During the transition period, some of the factories, industrials, companies were being sold to the new owners, almost foreigners, and they stopped to work. We have a lot of students, a lot of pensioners, the people who are looking for a job, and in Montenegro will wait for a great challenge how to resolve all the budget problems.
Can you easily get information from military structures as NGO?
Yes, of course, especially in the last days, to be clear and to be frank. In the beginning of the work of Alpha Center, it was very tough because military structure was closed during the past 6 years, during the Tito's time, after Tito's, during the Milošević times. All military, as well as security and safety institutions and police, Ministry of Interior, all of that institutions was closed and so far from the people from NGO. NGO is something new in Montenegro, and especially dealing in defense and security issues. But during the time, I'm sure that all of them get impressions that we are doing to improve quality of the life of citizens, not to do as a spies or some intelligence officer or liaison officers of some other intelligence services. We are here to protect Montenegro interests, we are here to protect the interests of citizens of Montenegro and of the future of Montenegro. Now we have good communication and relation between, for example, Ministry of Defense, military of Montenegro. It's very easy to obtain information that we would like to know. Also, I would like to highlight they are inviting us to be a part of some kind of working groups, of some kind of councils, how to improve some and develop and adopt some documents about the defense and security.
Do you have democratic control on the army in Montenegro?
We have in verbal meaning democratic control, because this term is still unclear to all of them, including parliament, including government, including army, including citizens. That's the real term. In the democratic control of armed forces is not just to promote civil for Minister of Defense or civil for HQ, Chief of HQ Staff Army of Montenegro. Democratic control must be in the parliament. We have one committee for safety and defense and safety, and it's 11 members of them from different political parties, but from that 11, majority are members of ruling parties. That means that all ideas, all suggestions, all recommendations, all amendments have to be voted, and always voting is pro-ruling or pro-government parties. It's very tough, it's very unusual to adopt some idea which come from opposition. That means that democratic control of armed forces is not so clear in Montenegro, is not so strong, even we have it on paper.
Okay, my last question about what do you think about the Azerbaijan-Montenegrin relationship?
I see as ordinary citizens, as I see a very big and very strong development in the political and economic relation between Montenegro and government. Some of our high-ranking politicians also were to visit Azerbaijan a few times. We had high-ranking politicians from Azerbaijan here. Also, it was a great honor to have Azerbaijan's President Aliyev here in Montenegro, and I see a lot of good investors from Azerbaijan scientists to be here to start to make a business, and I hope that that relation between Montenegro and Azerbaijan will improve our relationship, but improve Montenegro and Azerbaijan. I am someone who will support the idea to exchange, especially youth, from Montenegro to Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan to Montenegro, because I see and I know a lot of similarities between two people and two nations. We have just to make some kind of bridge that all youth, all information, all knowledge, all experience can pass faster and in full capacity to build our relationship here.
Thank you very much.